Hey everyone! Welcome back. I am back today with more Oshi no Ko, you guys. Last week, we kicked off the second season with a really fun episode that caught us up with everybody. Kind of got us a little bit like in position for what everyone's dealing with this season, or at least a high level idea of it. And there's a lot going on, you guys. There's a ton going on. We've had some like tables turn a little bit. We're in a whole new kind of setting now. It's going to be really exciting. And of course, we ended off on the twist of the whole play might get redone, or at least that's the goal for the author. So yeah, guys, I will briefly get into any lingering thoughts I had on it. Before I do that, I do just want to say if you're joining me early today, you know just what that means. It means you are one of my awesome patrons. Thank you so very much. And as always, I am sending up those big old hugs right through that screen. And if not, still, thank you for joining me today. I am glad you're here. I do hope you'll consider supporting me that way. The link to my Patreon is going to be in that description down below. And if you're joining me on those YouTubes, I really hope you'll hit like, also subscribe for me. That does help me and my channel a whole lot. So thank you in advance for that. All right, guys. So as we know from last time, we are kicking off in the theater environment, the play slash, I think it's mostly just kind of like a play, which I think is really cool because we kind of touched on like TV last time. We touched on like the music business. We touched on like reality TV. And now we're switching to like a whole different kind of, I don't know if medium is the right way to phrase it, but a whole different kind of section, I guess, of the entertainment industry that has all its own kind of like nuances and everything, as you would expect, because yeah, it's going to be different than TV. It's going to be, we already know it's a lot different because we saw how Akane last season was trying to make the, she was making the switch from like having kind of come up in the theater environment to trying to bring that to TV. And now we have people like Kana who are doing the opposite, like she was a TV person, now also a pop group member, and now but the interesting thing about it, and I think it was interesting to do this because, last season it looked like they were setting up like, ooh, like Kana's going to be kind of like, in unknown territory, and Akane is going to really have this in the bag because this is a theater she came up in, blah, blah, blah. And immediately they turn the tables here because Akane is the one who's stuck with like a lot of the nastier changes to her character and to just the story in general. And now she's got to bring that to life with so much going against her. The fact that like her character's nothing like it was in the manga. Fans are going to be very upset by that. It's very, very hard, I think, for people to see past their issues when somebody comes in and makes changes like that to a fandom that they really love. It's really hard for them to like, oh, well, clearly this isn't the actor's fault though. Like, we're not going to like jump on the actor for that. Like, of course they're going to jump on the actor for that, like, and in any event, even if they were able to separate it in their minds somehow, which I think is expecting a whole lot of just like most of the population who's going to be watching this. That's not to say that like a lot of them won't recognize, but like I think we know like in general they're gonna jump on the person who is playing the character the most, or just even like I said, even if they can separate it, they're gonna really pan the performance overall because they didn't like the changes. So that's kind of what we're looking at. So Akane is kind of starting off with this big disadvantage, and Kana, did I say Akane or Kana when I just said that? I meant Akane. Kana, on the other hand, is really getting to like explore her potential for the first time, which is really cool, and I'm happy for her. Like, honestly, I'm rooting for them both. Like, I think they both are great characters and have so much potential, but in a case like this, we can see how like the subtle competition is kind of like making everyone level up their game. Even the one guy from the sort of failed adaptation last time, I can't remember his name, but like he was there and we saw the author come in and be like, So yeah, so you know, I'm happy for Kana that she's really getting to finally explore her potential and not have to worry about matching the skill level of the people around her. But on the other hand, yeah, it's not, we're not all starting off, I feel like, on equal footing due to a lot of the circumstances. And the fact that they made the changes in the script due to time is just such a kick in the head. Because it's not even like, this was a creative choice, and I, as a director, am going to tell you, like, why I feel this way and why we should play it this way. It's literally, it's just like, we kind of just had to scrap it for time. And now you're the one who has to kind of suffer with it. And again, like, changes need to be made for time, too. It's not like someone's coming in like, yeah, you know, like, I just hate this script. It's like, this is what happens. Like, you have to fit it in 2 or 2.5 hours. Like, how do you do that? So yeah, so that's kind of where we're starting off. Of course, we have a lot of other things going on as well, but that was like kind of the main crux of what I feel like we focused on last episode. And we have the author coming in saying like, oh my God, I love it, except we need to do it all over. So I'm not sure what's going to happen there. I don't know if the author has like some kind of clause where like they can come in and do that, or if that's mostly just like kind of a friendly suggestion or what. I guess we'll find out in the next episode. So yeah, guys, without further ado, what do you say we go ahead and we jump right into the next episode of Oshi no Ko? Let's do this. Oh. See. Yeah. A little bit of hesitation, but you know. Oh, well, yeah, I called it. I mean, she knows all about kind of fumbling a little bit and learning while you're acting. I mean, she's always been a good actress, but like fumbling in the other stuff. Oh, hi! Okay. Yeah. Hey, girl. Woo. Oh. Right. I have a feeling we're going to get to know about. Oh, we're a little bit like, whatever. He's got, okay, well, he's approaching it a lot differently, I'll say, than the others. Cool. Hey, sort of boyfriend. Yeah, we still get our Insta pictures together. I mean, he really did help her. Like, they have a reason to be, she has a reason to feel close to him. Aww. Oh, meanwhile, Kana's like, yeah. As someone who's really jealous, I do kind of relate to Kana. Oh, maybe we shouldn't bring that up. You have very strong feelings about it. See, the thing is, I think there is some closeness. Oh, awesome. I mean, I'm sure it was someone to look at. Ooh! She's like, I don't have any time for that. Well, she went to a dark place. She went to a dark place for this. I would change the subject if I were you, friend. I would change the subject. Ah, I see. Okay. Oh, cool. It's really cool that you're trying. Like, good for you. Like, I feel like he's motivated. He's really working hard. Aww. Okay. So, okay. Aww, that's another way to look at it. And that's how all of this originated. Gotcha. So now we know they're friends. They work together. Oh. That's a very good habit. Well, I mean, it's maybe a little bit. Yeah. They kind of get to take their liberties. That's kind of how I'm feeling about, yeah. It's like, well, where is the line? Oh, we got some dual action brushing going on. That is one way to look at it. You know, I would have never thought of that in a million years. I think that's where we're headed. The whole thing. Oh, yeah. Called it. All right. So we thought it was going to be good until we didn't. Okay, so I guess we do kind of have an obligation to change it. Oh, okay, they're trying to be really humble, though, and ask you, like, how can I do this? Oh, ouch. Okay, this is getting a little heated. I understand the issues she would have. However, it does sound like they really took some big liberties. Yeah, changing the characters so much. Your babies. Your babies. Of course you see them as your babies, though. That makes sense. Okay. Ooh. We're being a little bit heavy-handed here. Okay. Come in and drag your friend away. Just come get your friend. Right. Absolutely get it. Absolutely get it. And I get why she would be upset, honestly. Okay. It's interesting to me that there's so much work with the creator. So it kind of got a little bit... Game of Telephone is the name of the episode. I see. Okay. So it gets kind of filtered, a little bit censored, and maybe not everyone's fully understanding what she wants. And it turned from where we started to... So you can't really blame him. See, that's kind of a shame because it's really not any one person's fault. Okay, and that's how we got in this loop. Yeah, I mean, that is frustrating to keep saying the same thing over and over, and it's just getting worse, you know what I mean? I mean, I don't know whose fault it is. It's really not... It's not an intentional thing on anyone's part. I see, so the creator does have a lot of... That's interesting. Because Hollywood is... You sign it over, you're done in a lot of cases. Oh... Whoa! Okay, we're playing hardball over here. Oh, okay. Oh, That's a shame. I see. This kind of thing happens a lot. I mean, I feel bad for him because, like, he did his best with what he had, you know? Oh. Wow. Well, they stay. Yeah, we've seen that with in other cases, too. Oh. Oh, we're just okay. Oh. He's taking it very well. Oh. I came in here fully ready to be on the mangaka's side. I don't know how I'm feeling right now. Oh, that's harsh. I gotta say, like, that's very harsh. Okay, yeah, so we really do need that then. So they only have now less than 20 days. This is like the next day. Huh? Yeah? Okay, guys. Chill. Okay. We're educate him. Educate him. What exactly is a stage your own play, though? Can they tell us, please? How about a little date and we'll fill you in? It's the immersive part. I mean, it's like, think of like as a manga or anime fan, like getting to see like live action, like people, you know what I mean? Like that's really cool, you know? And I mean, regular plays are fine too, but like, oh my God. That's it. That can't be the end of the episode. Stop. Well, dang, guys. I'm so conflicted now because honestly, I think, you know, for me as a fan, I think it's very easy to point to, you know, when something is adapted and it's not done well. I do think it's easy to point the blame. And what they presented to us here is a much more nuanced look at how a production like this would work. And how, in a lot of cases, it's not even the fault of the person who has the project in their hands, you know? Now, I will say, I do understand where the author's coming from. I don't remember her name. But don't worry, I'll get there, because I have a feeling we're going to, I don't know, maybe see her more. I don't know. But yeah, I understand where she's coming from, and I so see this perspective of like, why would you change the characters? Why would you like, and as someone who has fandoms that are very close to my heart, I even understand the idea of like calling them your babies, you know, how much more is an author going to feel that compared to like a fan who actually like created these characters, like they literally are her babies. Here's the thing. First of all, and I get that, like, when you're dealing with a mangaka, it's like, okay, you're going to expect, like, some eccentricities to a degree, you know, like, yeah, it makes total sense, right? But, like, it's so harsh. It's so harsh. And I felt really, really bad for a scriptwriter friend, because you could tell he really was trying to, he took all of it very seriously. Here's the thing. I live in America where there's Hollywood. And I think it's, for me, you know, you see something poorly adapted and you're blaming like the company in charge, you're blaming the studio, you're blaming like, and in a lot of cases, I think maybe, so I don't know like what the differences are. I know that I don't think that in like most cases of an adaptation in Hollywood, there is ever like that level of control from an author. I don't know if it's plays are different. I don't know if it's just the rules are different in Japan. I don't know if it's just for this particular production. The only instance I can think of, I can think of two instances. I think, like I remember like Ready Player One. I feel like I remember hearing, and I don't know if this is true, that the author of the book handled the script or had a lot to do with the script. And One Piece, which I actually ended up watching it on my own. Now I wish I had reacted to it because it was such a good adaptation, in my opinion. And I think a lot of you feel the same way who've seen it. The author like signed off on everything. It had a ton to do with it. And you can see that, you know? And I'm like, in general, I think that's a very positive thing. But I wasn't expecting them to take this and turn it on its head and make it so that, like, the author's kind of holding the whole production hostage here. Like, it's not often that we see, especially, like I said, you know, in the United States where we have Hollywood, I feel like that's not as much of a thing anyway as, like, an author. Like, I think just maybe the rights are different. Or maybe it's just, you know, I'm thinking of movies versus plays. I don't really know. But yeah, I'm thinking of it as like, once you sign off on that, once you sell the movie rights or the TV rights or whatever, it's like, yeah, you might be able to work something out where the author has a lot to do with it, or you might not. You might just get somebody who's like, take it, it's yours, you know, and then God knows what is being done with it. So, but in general, I feel like if I were to ask you before this episode, how you felt about, you know, like the influence of a studio on an adaptation versus like the creator, I think we all probably unanimously just would have felt that, okay, the creator is the one we kind of favor, right? As opposed to like a studio who's just trying to like make, you know, sort of soulless decisions based on whatever, you know, time that they have, money, agenda, pushing like, you know, some of them want to push like different actors, you know, like highlight this actor because they're a big name, you know, like they're pushing something. And I just really didn't expect them to take that whole concept and completely flip it on me, where it's like, okay, here's a scriptwriter who's like basically at the bottom of the food chain, which like I wouldn't really, I mean, I know like scriptwriters aren't, it's not like a director where you're going to be like, oh my God, this is a such and such movie or play or whatever. But like, I didn't realize how bad they had it because, but it kind of makes sense though, you know, because you're not front facing, you're not, your job is creative, but it's not the same as like a director or something like that, where I don't know, I just feel like there's going to be more, maybe like leeway, maybe I want to say, I don't know if that's the right word, like more flexibility, more room to kind of do your own thing. Especially in this case where you're working so close with the creator. And I feel so bad that like the whole thing went through the game of telephone to get to him, and he was taking it super seriously and wanted to give it attention and love and like was trying so hard. And, you know, because it got filtered through some people who like didn't really understand what the creator wanted because it was a little vague anyway, or maybe it like made a lot of sense to her, or, you know, but it didn't make sense to other people, or they were just trying to tone it down because the tone was so angry. Whatever, by the time it went through these 5 people or whatever to get to him, you know, he was doing the best with what he had. And that being said, I will say I do understand where the creator's coming from, like completely. And I know it must be frustrating for her. You're submitting these ideas like over and over and over, and it's just getting worse, you know? So I don't know who to blame here. I don't know if there really is like a person like where we can put, I think it's just like the structure, the system just didn't do it any favors in this case. You know, I'm sure it's not like that in every single case. I meant to mention this last time, but some of you know that I watched I unfortunately did not react to it, but I watched the Phantom Blood JoJo's musical a few months back. So good. And yeah, there were changes made, you know. There was actually a lot more done faithfully than I would have expected. But yeah, like there were changes made. Some of the changes I thought were actually kind of good and sort of did more for the story. And some of them were like, oh, okay, I get it. We had to kind of like, we had to speed run through that. Okay, well, you know, it's play. It's like, how are we going to do this in like 3 hours? So I don't think this is the case with like every single production, but this is just an example of like how the system kind of failed. In this particular case, it's sort of like there's a little bit of blame to go around, and yet like there isn't, you know. But I feel bad for the scriptwriter, you guys, man. And then he's like, "Could you just take my?" That just broke my heart, because it's like, at least let him keep a little bit of his like integrity of like, you know, that wasn't my writing, that wasn't my And they're like, "Couldn't you just kind of be a team player on this one?" It's like, bruh, he's being, but. That's how it goes. You don't want to upset the apple cart, you know. I have a lot of thoughts and feelings on this one. I'm gonna wrap it up and wait to hear from you guys, because a lot of times you leave like just totally different perspective too in my comments, and I'm like, oh my, I did not even think to look at it that way. But yes, I'm gonna wrap it up for now. But that was really good. I enjoyed that a lot. I'm really conflicted. I did not expect to come out of this so conflicted. I kind of expected the author to go in there and say what she wanted, and it was going to be kind of like a push and pull, and, you know, and it was going to be heartless, soulless aspect of it versus what we all really want, which is like the good story, the like original content, you know what I mean? And it was so much more complicated than that. I don't understand. My cut and dry perspective is shattered. So I'm learning a lot, you guys. I'm learning a lot. I hope you are too. I mean, probably a lot of you already know more than I did going into this. So, all right. I'm going to wrap it up. I loved it. I can't wait for next week. I want to hear from you. What did you think of it? Did you feel how I did, or did you like whose side were you on, or like did you kind of see that there was no sides, which is kind of like where I'm coming from after seeing it. So all right, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching along with me. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. Please, oh my goodness, I'm done. I don't know how I'm more stressed about this than like a super action like this is so stressful, but it's so good and interesting. It just goes to show, like, a good story is a good story. It doesn't matter the genre. It doesn't matter and I love this genre anyway. This like drama. I don't even know. I don't even know what you would call this, but it's great. So, all right, you guys, please be sure to join me next time, and we will watch it together. Bye for now, guys.